And thanks I4CP staff for this award. We're really honored. I should point out that Julie Sexton, who is in the audience, is our VP of Talent Management, and she played an important role in this, but she's actually relieved that she's not here upstage presenting. So Land O'Lakes, I want to talk about how we use talent solutions to drive an aggressive growth of a business, and think of it as a high-tech business. So in a challenged environment with a talent shortage and needing to really work across this boundary of different players in the system to make it happen. So here's Land O'Lakes, a growth company, successful company, and this legacy of being a marketplace-backed, value-added, branded, driving insights and innovation. So what's the first insight here? 13 billion top line, 10,000 employees. So relatively few employees, talent matters. Second, when you're an insights to innovation driven company, innovative talent matters. So two other key things here. One is this portfolio is a bit unusual. We have a portfolio that actually spans from the farm all the way to the marketplace, or the fork, as we like to say. Now, you probably know us as the Butter Company, right? Butter was on Time Magazine in March 2014. It's on trend. We sell a lot of butter. But I want to show you that we have this set of businesses from crop inputs through animal nutrition to certainly our dairy foods business, our newest business called Sustain, which is a sustainability solutions business, and then an international development business. And this is 40 years ago, our members said, we know a lot about growing food. We want to help our neighbor. And fortunately, they defined the neighborhood as the world. So 40 years forward, 160 projects, 70 countries around the world in helping grow food. So the second insight here is feeding human progress. So for us, this is our purpose. And it's an important part of what we have done across the legacy, as I mentioned 40 years ago, saying this is something that we can do. Our place in the world is to help feed human progress. This business I want to focus in on is the Winfield business, because it's a high-tech business. It's rapidly growing. It had a challenge. It was trying to drive technology upstream into the value chain, and there were a lot of challenges to technology. One is, broadband on the farm. It's not exactly great these days. The retailers and the farmers, the average age of a farmer is age 60. So think about adopting technology. Now, the good thing is there's going to be more land trading hands in the next 10 years and going to these young tech, high-savvy new farmers. This is actually an answer plot, and to give you a little sense of the technology, so this business takes over 200 answer plots around the world, most in the US. It mines biotech data, what grows best in what soil, with what density, with what growing conditions, what climate, and it takes 1 million bits of data, and it creates prescriptions, because we do this of all of the crop inputs that are out there, and gives a set of solutions to help growers. So think of us as the consumer reports of agriculture. What was the business challenge? As I mentioned, there's this challenge of feeding the world. And not only looking back, but by 2050, there's 3 billion more people on the planet. We have limited arable land. Water is going to be a big issue. So we need technology in order to solve what's going to be this global food challenge that we have. And as I mentioned, there's challenges in adopting technology. And the other reality that this business was facing, if it was going to grow, it had to get that technology onto the acre through those retailers and ultimately out to that grower. And new jobs were being created. Precision ag specialists who took big data and did predictive analytics. We have a French satellite company that maps the biomass during the season, looks at the chlorophyll. It can identify where there's a problem in the field, and in-season prescriptions. So this is a high-tech business. And you can see some of the maps there of using sensors to be able to understand what's growing best in what part of the fields, where there's problems in the field, where productivity is not what it should be. Further, there's a talent risk here. There's a shortage of people in agriculture. There's 50,000 new ag jobs being created every year. There's only 30,000 new grads coming out of college. So, like any classic sort of workforce plan, you say, I got a talent shortage, where am I going to get the supply? You know, what's my demand? The demand's in new areas, big challenge. And finally, we're seeing, as you are, that consumer trends are changing. They want to know where my food comes from. Is it safe? Is it grown sustainably? And so across this value chain from the farm into the marketplace, there's a lot of changes occurring. So here is our solution. What did we come up with? We said, well, this talent shortage, if you look at the value chain from the farmer to this ag retailer that helps get them their inputs, takes their outputs, gets it to the market, ourselves, an ag technology leader, selling to CPG, consumer packaged goods companies, food companies, and ultimately to a consumer. The problem was adopting technology on the front end and these changing consumer trends on the other end. So the solution was we had to come up with both some conventional and some out-of-the-box solutions. And to further complicate it, about 2000, well, actually in the 1920s, about 25% of Americans farmed. And over the years, agriculture's gotten so productive that now 1.4% of Americans live on a farm. So people don't know about agriculture. They don't know this productivity story. They don't know about the technology. They don't know about how food is produced to be able to give Americans the lowest cost food supply in the world. So we leaned into this problem. And the first thing we said is, as we projected, did our strategic workforce plan, we had a significant shortage. We had to go to the universities and create these long-term partnerships, have a huge scale-up in interns, new grads, and begin to create investments into the universities. We also went to Silicon Valley. We said, we need your help to be able to continue to advance the technology. We also went to the retailers and created talent solutions that rotated our talent, not only in our company, but across into their company so they could face the grower and help them with the challenge that they had. And we created a couple new businesses along the way. So a sustainability business, and we also said international. People are starting to scale up on what their diets are. And so there's a commercial application for what we do, technology adoption on the farm, in Africa and Asia. So the keys to execution for us were, we needed that plan, how many people of what kinds, and there was this huge scale up of these technology types. We had to grow the talent pipeline. We had to create a visibility to careers in agriculture. And one of the things that we quickly concluded is, if we're going to get the attention of the 98% who don't know much about agriculture, we have to create a big splash. So one of the things we created was a global food challenge. We put it out there to all the universities, and we said, we're going to hire people who come in with solutions to this global problem of how we're going to produce enough food. And we created an experience for those people who came into our company where they spent time in Africa with our international development. They spent time in Washington, D.C. on policy. They went to the Global Food Prize conference. And they worked with our retailers. They had mentors. We had people in the universities who surrounded them. And our ask of them was, go back to your university and help spread the word about technology, the Global Food Challenge, and careers in agriculture. And it was a huge hit for us on social media and otherwise. We also saw this opportunity for a new business. We're one of the unique companies that felt like we had this view from end to end, and so we created the sustainability business. And one of the things we learned along the way is that we had to create agile teams in order to keep advancing in either a new business or internationally with our businesses that we started there. And then these big splashes also continued. We were just at South by Southwest. We had something called the Food Effect, which you can see there to create this dialogue between agriculture people, between food industry, between consumers, and talk honestly about what's going on in our food industry and in agriculture. The results, so our ag tech business that I described, it's grown from $1 billion to $6 billion. We now touch about 50% of the acres in the United States. We've averaged about a 20% ROIC on this business. And the demographics are changing. So in this business, the COO just told me, they did the analysis, and the average age used to be 47, so an older workforce. And now with all the tech-savvy people that we've hired in, our average age has dropped all the way to 40, so a sizable drop. We've doubled the size of Land O'Lakes, and recently, last year, we won Fortune Magazine's 50 Companies Changing the World, and this is companies that put their strategies and social responsibility together, and we're very honored to have received that. We're one of 6 companies that Microsoft has identified in its digital transformation real-life showcase, and we're very honored that Microsoft is our partner. So the lessons learned: build an ecosystem of talent. Think about your value chain. Who else is outside of your ecosystem? And I learned that word from I4CP. I didn't know that this is what we were doing, but it's an ecosystem of talent. And as you think about your value chain and where you're at, think of what conventional, out of the box, are there big, big solutions that can get the quick results. And for us, speed became important. And we have this phrase, we call it think big, start small, fail fast, scale up rapidly, i.e. learn. And then this talent fluidity. What we've learned is change out the talent on the teams as you face the new challenge. And you're never going to get the team right. You think you got the right talent, put it in, learn a little bit, then say, no, I've got to change out the talent. And each phase along the way of advancing your business, do you have the right talent for that next phase and that next challenge ahead? So thank you for your award, and thank you for your attention on this.
Thank you, Lauren. Here, let's get right up here. We'll get a picture with Stephanie. All right, congratulations again.
Thanks, Kevin.
Great story.